Krezog Vermak had ambushed 100 wagons. Never once had he paused, but when his scimitar tore through the canvas, the world went silent.
Out, now, give me your coin, or I'll feed you to the crows.
His free hand yanked the canvas aside. The blade, mid-swing, froze.
A child. Green skin. Braids. Why is she here?
She was curled in the straw like a pup, not even stirring at the roar.
Wait, please. She's just a child. Don't strike.
Krezog's eyes, wide with confusion, were locked on the small pointed ear.
I found her. I am trying to take her home. Just listen. I beg you.
The scimitar trembled. Iron Throat, who had never shown mercy, found his arm disobeying him. The human was on his knees, palms out, and the Orc Bandit, for the first time, did not swing. Patrick read the hesitation and let the words spill, fast and desperate.
3 months passed. I found her on the northern road, ditch, half dead, covered in mud. No one else stopped.
He pulled a threadbare blanket from the straw, still stained with the dirt of that day.
Why you? Why would a human carry an orc child?
She's no threat. She's just a girl who needed someone. I promised I'd see her home.
Krezog's blade dipped another inch. His gaze shifted to the child.
That ear, the mark. I know that mark.
He leaned closer, scarred hand gripping the wagon's edge instead of the weapon.
I've been asking villages, north by north. Her name is Yola. She has family somewhere.
The scimitar hung forgotten. Krezog's world had narrowed to the small green face in the straw. Krezog reached out, his thumb brushing the dark braids aside to reveal the small ear and its mark.
Mama!
It's all right. I am here. You are safe. He won't harm you.
Krezog recoiled as if from a blade, his back colliding with the wagon frame, eyes wide with something that looked like pain.
Shh, look at me, Yola. He's lowering his blade. We're not going to hurt anyone.
The girl buried her face into Patrick's chest, her small hands gripping his tunic, sobs muffled.
Yola. Her name is Yola. Tell me I am wrong.
Yes, her name is Yola. That's what she told me when she could speak. How do you know?
Krezog didn't answer. He stared at the child, his face a mask of gathering horror. The only sound was the wind through the pines and Yola's hitched breathing. The bandit seemed turned to stone. The silence shattered as Krezog lunged forward, his massive hand clamping around Patrick's collar.
That mark. Green Hollow's sign. No human carries one of our own.
I never claimed she was mine. I've been searching for her kin for months.
Krezog's grip tightened. His scimitar had fallen, but his fist could crush a throat.
Kill me if you must, but let the girl live. She's been through enough.
The words hit like a blow. Krezog's arm trembled, scars twisting with something beyond rage.
Why would a human risk death for an orc child? It makes no sense.
Patrick's voice was steady, even with the orc's fist twisted in his tunic.
You expect me to believe a lone human dragged an orc whelp across half the territory out of kindness?
Krezog's hand unclenched. He stared at the child, then the man who hadn't flinched. The scimitar clattered to the dirt. Krezog's knees buckled, and he sank before the wagon, a titan crumbling. He tore his tunic open. On his scarred chest, a mountain peak tattoo, identical to the child's mark.
Green Hollow, my birth village, the raid that scattered us. I fled like a coward. Yola is my cousin's child. I thought she died with the others. She is my blood, and I almost cut her down.
Patrick stood, holding Yola close, watching the legendary Iron Throat weep into the dust.
Uncle Krez, I dreamed about you.
Yes, little one. I am here. I am sorry. I am so sorry.
Patrick set Yola down gently. He stepped forward and placed a hand on the orc's shuddering shoulder. No words were needed. The road was still, and the evening had changed its meaning forever. Yola slipped from Patrick's side and padded through the dust to the kneeling orc. Her small hand cupped his scarred jaw.
Don't cry, Uncle Krez. You found us.
She's right. You can't undo the past, but you can guide her home. Help me, Krezog.
Krezog's breath hitched. He lifted his head, looked from the child to the human who had shown mercy.
On my blood, on my scars, I swear it, I will see her safe, or die before her.
He slammed his fist against his chest where the tattoo burned. The sound echoed off the pines. Then he was on his feet, stripping the saddle from his own shaggy horse, lashing the beast to the wagon's side. Patrick hefted Yola onto the driver's bench. The two men worked in the gathering dark, side by side, without another word. Krezog climbed onto the bench and took the reins. For the first time, his hands were steady. The wagon lurched forward, its wheels cutting a fresh track toward a village that had not seen its prodigal son in years. The road wound deeper into the pines. Krezog drove in silence, eyes scanning the shadows.
You know this land. How long since you've been this way?
Since my youth, I ran these woods with Grem, Yola's father. He was the brave one.
They camped by a stream. Krezog built a fire. Patrick fed Yola. The flames cast long shadows. Yola was asleep, wrapped in the blanket.
Grem was my closest friend. When raiders came, he took the axe meant for me. I ran.
Survival isn't cowardice. You are bringing his daughter home. That's honor.
My old crew will call me traitor. They'd kill us all.
The words hung heavy. Patrick eyed the dark tree line, suddenly aware of their exposure. Krezog took first watch, scimitar ready. Patrick lay awake, listening for threats in the dark. Dawn broke raw and cold. The wagon creaked into a narrow defile where the pines gave way to sheer rock.
Patrick, stop talking. Get inside with the girl. Now.
A ridge above came alive. 5, 6 gray shapes, shoulders low, eyes burning in the dim. Krezog jumped down, scimitar bared. He placed himself between the snarling pack and the wagon. The first wolf lunged. He met it with a roar and steel gutting it mid-leap. Another pair came together. He swung wide, killed one, but the other clamped his sword arm. Teeth sinking deep, he wrenched free, blood spraying, and killed the third. The pack, bloodied and broken, yelped and fled into the stone.
You are torn bad. Yola, find those bandages in the sack. Stay calm. He's bleeding for us.
Patrick scrambled down and pressed cloth to Krezog's mangled arm. The orc didn't flinch. Yola wrapped both tiny hands around Krezog's wrist, bold and solemn. The bandit turned guardian's throat tightened. The wagon rolled through thinning trees. And there it was, smoke from cooking fires, a palisade of sharpened logs. Green Hollow, Krezog's hands trembled on the reins. He pulled the horses to a halt a bowshot from the gate.
I should not go further. The moment they see me, you both become targets.
We didn't fight wolves just so you could vanish at the doorstep. We face this together.
They have every right to kill me. I am not asking for mercy.
Uncle Krez, you said you'd take me home. You promised.
The child's words hung like a verdict. Krezog looked from her to the grim palisade, then to Patrick.
Then I will walk in as a supplicant, not a warrior. Here.
He unbuckled the scimitar, the weapon of iron throat, and laid it across Patrick's palms. The village gate loomed. Guards watched from the watchtowers, their horns silent for now. The wagon creaked forward. Krezog walked ahead, arms spread, and dropped to his knees in the dirt. A horn blast shattered the morning. Armed orcs poured from the gate, spears leveled at the kneeling bandit.
Hold. This child is Yola, daughter of Selka. She is returned home.
A woman's cry rang out from the crowd. Selka, it's your child. Selka shoved through the crowd, her face a mask of shock. She stopped dead, staring at the small green figure in Patrick's arms. A heartbeat passed. Then she ran, arms outstretched, a mother's desperate sprint across the mud.
Yola.
The child wriggled free and stumbled toward the sound of her name, tears streaming. Krezog did not raise his head. The dirt beneath his knees grew wet with tears. The guards kept their spears raised. Somewhere, a runner had gone to fetch the elder. Selka clutched Yola tightly. Then her eyes found the kneeling orc. Recognition hit her like a blow.
Krezog, you left us. You were not there to fight.
She let go of Yola and strode forward, her hand cracking across his scarred cheek. The sound echoed in the silence.
I know. I failed her. I failed all of you.
Selka's shoulders shook. She sank before him, pulled his great head to her shoulder, and sobbed against his neck.
You were supposed to protect him. You ran, but you brought her back.
She cradled his head there, her tears falling into his hair, the morning light catching the bone beads woven in her braids.
I ask nothing, but let me honor his memory by protecting the child he left behind.
The crowd hushed. Through the parting sea of orcs, Elder Gorath emerged, leaning on his carved staff.
What is the meaning of this? A human, a child, and a traitor at my gate.
Gorath struck his staff on the earth. The crowd stilled. Then speak. All of you. I will decide what is justice.
Elder, I found Yola half dead in a ditch. I searched for her kin for months. This orc, Krezog, swore to bring her home.
He laid the scimitar at Gorath's feet. He entered your gate unarmed, knowing he might not leave alive.
I was Ironthroat, a bandit. I deserved death. But the girl is innocent. Let my end be the price for her return.
Elder Gorath, he saved my daughter. He fought wolves for her. I ask for his life. Let him serve instead of hang.
The elder's gaze moved slowly, to the child, to the mother, to the kneeling bandit, to the human. He raised his carved staff high. The murmurs died away like a snuffed candle.
Krezog Vormak, once called Ironthroat.
The world seemed to hold its breath. Even the horses stood still. The elder's voice cut through the silence, weighted with centuries of law.
For your crimes, the block. But the law knows mercy when a blood debt is paid.
He lowered his staff slightly, eyes fixed on the kneeling orc.
You will not die, but you will not walk free among us.
A murmur rippled through the crowd. The elder continued, voice like stone on steel.
You will serve this human traitor as his guard. For a year and a day, protect the road that links our peoples. Return with prosperity, and your banishment is lifted.
He turned to Patrick, beckoning him forward with a gnarled hand.
Human, for returning our child, I grant you the honor token of Green Hollow and lifelong trade rights through our lands.
He placed a heavy iron medallion around Patrick's neck. The crowd erupted in cheers and stamping feet. An elder draped a simple gray cloak over Krezog's shoulders, marking his probationary return to the clan. Krezog rose and clasped Patrick's forearm. Their eyes met, two men bound by a future neither had seen coming. Selka pressed a carved stone charm into Patrick's palm. For your road, it belonged to my grandmother. Her fingers lingered, warm and strong.
You come back, Patrick? Promise?
I promise, little one. And I am bringing your Uncle Krez right back with me.
A village elder stepped forward, bearing a plain iron scimitar. No ornament, no jewel, a working blade for a guardian.
I will carry it with honor, Elder, or not at all.
He strapped it to his back. Patrick was already at the reins, the wagon laden with furs, dried meats, and iron ingots for trade. The gates groaned open. Selka lifted Yola onto her hip, the child waving with all her might. Krezog climbed onto the bench beside Patrick. He did not look back, but his hand rested on the new blade.
A year and a day, the elder said. Think we'll make it.
We've already made it through worse. Now it's just a long road.
3 years later, Green Hollow had stone walls and a market where human and orc merchants shouted prices over bolts of wool and sharpening steel. Krezog, gray at the temples, hoisted a crate of ingots onto a wagon bed, the iron scimitar still slung across his back.
Careful, old friend. You are not as young as you were.
Young enough to still outwork you, human.
In the new schoolroom, Yola bent over a slate. Her braids neat, her numbers precise. She was the sharpest in her class.
If I finish early, I can go to the office and help Uncle Krez with the cargo lists.
After school, she'd rush to the trade office, climb onto a high stool, and check cargo manifests before anyone could stop her. Patrick and Krezhog watched from the porch, the honor token gleaming on Patrick's chest.
She'll run this place before she's grown.
That girl's been running things since the day you almost cut her down.
Another decade slipped by like a quiet stream. Green Hollow's stone walls thickened, and the trade road became a river of carts and laughter. Yola ran the books now, sharp-eyed and quick, her braids traded for a practical bun. The child who'd slept in straw had become the company's backbone.
The spice shipment is light. If no one has fixed it by noon, I'll have to ride out and talk to the caravan master myself.
On the porch, 2 old friends watched the bustle with the ease of men who'd built it from mud and mercy.
Never thought I'd end up a guard for a human. Best decision I ever made.
Best decision you never made. I made it for you when I let you live.
The iron honor token still hung on Patrick's chest, smooth from years of his thumb tracing the mountain peak.
Every scar on my skin I used to be proud of. Now I look at them and just see a road I shouldn't have walked.
But you walked it back. That's all that matters.
The sun sank behind the mountains, and the 2 friends sat in silence, their long road finally at peace. Morning mist clung to Green Hollow's stone gate. The old wagon stood loaded, its sideboard freshly painted with a mountain peak crest. Patrick ran his hand along the weathered wood, then grasped the rail and pulled himself up with a grunt. Krezhog climbed onto the bench a little slower, then reached down and offered his hand to Patrick.
Still think you can drive better than me, old friend?
I know I can still reach the pedals, which is more than you can say.
Yola strode up in traveling leathers, a map case over her shoulder, and vaulted into the wagon bed with a laugh.
Someone has to make sure you 2 don't try to lift anything heavy.
The gate groaned open. Villagers lined the road, waving as the wagon rolled out beneath the lightning sky. On the bench, Krezog lifted the reins and let the horses find their stride on the old northern road. The same crossroads where an axe had frozen now lay quiet, and the road home had never felt so wide. The wagon crested a rise, and Krezog pulled the horses to a halt. Below lay a rain-washed ditch, now overgrown with wild heather.
This is where you found her, isn't it? In the mud and the rain.
Yola hopped down from the wagon bed and walked to the edge of the ditch, her traveling boots sinking into the soft earth.
I remember the cold, and then a warm blanket, and a voice that said I'd be safe.
I told you then, and I'll tell you now. Yola, you were never a burden. You were a gift none of us expected.
Krezog climbed down stiffly, the iron scimitar at his back, catching the light. He stood apart, staring at the weeds.
I spent so many years wishing I'd died in that raid. Now I see I was being kept alive for this, for her.
Then let it go, Uncle Krez. The past is just a ditch we've already climbed out of.
He covered her hand with his own, and for a long moment, the only sound was the wind through the long grass. Then he helped her back into the wagon, and the 3 of them drove on, the old ditch fading behind them like a bad dream. Miles rolled beneath the wheels until the stone walls of Green Hollow rose again against the afternoon sky.
No matter how far I travel, this gate always feels like a pair of open arms.
The guards at the watchtower blew a welcome note. Children of both kinds ran beside the wagon, laughing.
I remember when that horn meant nothing but an enemy. Now it's just music.
We built that music, Krez. One trade deal and one act of trust at a time.
Yola checked her ledger as they rolled to a stop before the trade office. Everything was in order.
A full loop, from the crossroads to here, with the same wagon. A bandit's blade stopped by a sleeping child, and a life rebuilt.
It wasn't just the child who needed saving that night. It was all three of us, in different ways.
Yola closed the ledger and smiled at the two men beside the wagon that had carried her home. The road home had never been a destination. It was the people who walked it together, long after the axe was lowered. Years later, the old wagon still rolled the northern road, its mountain peak crest worn but proud.
Every turn of these wheels feels like a prayer now.
The wagon creaked to a stop at the crossroads where it had all begun. No ambush waited, only the long shadows of pines and a robin's call.
This is where you almost made the worst mistake of your life, Uncle Krez.
And the best one of my life, little one. The blade that didn't fall.
We should mark this spot. Plant something that'll outlast us.
So they did. Yola carved a small stone with a mountain peak and an axe turned aside, and they set it in the earth where a scimitar once froze.
Let anyone who passes remember, mercy builds longer roads than steel.
They stood there a while longer, 3 figures beneath the pines, until the first stars pricked the sky. Then Krezhog lifted the reins one last time, and the wagon rolled home beneath a sky full of stars. The stone they left at the crossroads weathered the seasons, its carved message growing softer with each rain, yet never fading. Travelers from both human and orc lands would pause there, trace the symbol with a thumb, and continue their journey a little slower. They didn't always know the story of the bandit who froze, or the child who slept through it, but they knew the road was safe, and that was enough. The trade road grew busy, villages swelled, and the old wagon's wheels kept turning until the mountain peak crest became a legend in its own right. And somewhere, on a porch overlooking the yard, 2 old friends still sat with mugs in hand, watching the next generation drive the wagons out. Krezog's scimitar hung on the wall inside, untouched for decades. The iron was cold, but his hands were warm, with the memory of the road not taken. The story echoed for years after the 2 men had passed, told by the hearths of both races, the tale of the Orc Bandit who raided the wrong wagon and found his daughter home. Yola's children and their children kept the company running, but always insisted every new driver first pass the crossroads and read the carving. Mercy builds longer roads than steel, and sometimes a sleeping child in the straw is the axle upon which the whole world turns. The road is still there. The stone is, too, and the wheels keep turning. The crossroads stone outlasted the first wagon. It greeted each new generation of drivers as they learned the route. None of them saw Krezhog or Patrick in the flesh, but they knew the feel of their company in the ruts of the road. Yola lived to be an old woman, her braids silver, her office now a school for young traders. She would sit on the porch with a lap full of children, telling them about the night a bandit's blade found something stronger than steel. And when she spoke of Uncle Krez, her eyes would go somewhere far away, and she'd smile as if she could still hear his laugh. The honor token passed into a museum in the village, resting beside the plain iron scimitar, but the mountain peak crest flew on every wagon as far as the eye could see. At the crossroads, the stone grew smooth under 1,000 thumbs. The carving never needed explaining. A child stopped there once, a little green hand tracing the mountain. "Mama, what does it mean?" Her mother knelt. "It means mercy." The sun set, the road stretched on, and if you listen, you might still hear the creak of wooden wheels and the laughter of 3 unlikely travelers.